Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Project Podcast. My name is Ira Bowman. I am your host, and today I'm excited to have back on with us my guest, Melissa Arroyo Funderburk. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Having me.
It's my pleasure. I was just teasing myself before we started that I was happy I could say your name again. I don't know why. It gets excited. You go by Melissa AF on LinkedIn in case anybody's trying to find you.
It's a lot easier.
Well, welcome back to the show. Just like before, it's going to be 3 questions, about 10 minutes, unless we go long, and then it'll be what it is. But I have 3 questions for you today. Are you ready to do this thing again?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's get started. First question is about keywords. Can you explain to job seekers when they're trying to set up the resume the importance of keywords and how it all works?
All right. So when it comes to keywords, you want to ensure that you can show the employer that you have the skills they're looking for, because you're going to match them to the job description. As long as you have that and your resume can support those keywords, then yes, you add them to your resume. It's not to put everything and literally, copy and paste every single keyword, because you're not going to have it.
Right.
And for that is because not 2 roles are alike. So even though you might be a developer at Microsoft, that doesn't mean that you're going to do exactly the same thing at Apple. They have different duties that come with it. You might do this part, but you might not do this. You might do this at the other place, but you might not do that. So you have to be really cautious about those keywords and ensure that your resume support every word you add.
No doubt about it. So the resume in the old days, you would have kind of one standard resume and pass them out in mass to every different place. And now, obviously, like we're talking about, you need to change it. But to your point, you want to make sure people know you're not fibbing. You're not going to try to claim to be something you're not, because in the end of the day, that's fraud, honestly. I don't know why people don't call a spade a spade. You don't want to make it up. But I was talking in a video earlier about sometimes, you'll have phrased something like yellow and they're looking for the word gold. And as long as you are gold, then you should go on your resume and augment that to the word gold, right? That's what we're talking about? Yeah, okay. Just want to be clear. There's a lot of confusion about resumes. I don't understand, but I want to make sure people get it, and so that they can have the best shot of earning that job, right?
Correct. So there's other types of keywords as well. They're called white keywords, and those are the keywords that ATS can read, but when the recruiter pulls the paper, with the naked eye cannot see it because the white color blends with the white color of the paper.
Oh.
So the ATS was able to pull it, and then they get it and they go, wait, what is this? I don't see how they qualified, and that's the ATS pulled it because of the white keywords. So that's how you get blacklisted really fast.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad that you bring up the white words for the ATS thing. For the ATS, because ATS is something that's relatively new. So if a person hasn't been on the job market for a while and they've never dealt with this thing called ATS, can you explain a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that people can kind of get a better understanding what it is they're up against with this ATS system?
Sure. So before I answer that question, I want to clarify something that we need to be cognizant of when we give advice on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has almost 500 million members. A small percentage of those people are high school students who are about to graduate, who have never held a job and will not go to college, go straight into the workforce.
Sure.
And then you have college students who are going straight into the workforce as soon as they graduate, meaning those people have never worked. So when they find what we call LinkedIn influencers, we have to be very careful and cognizant about the information we give out, because these people are going to take what they hear as, the Bible.
Right.
So we have to be very cautious that we give the right advice. And by that, I mean, you have to have HR and you have to have recruitment experience, because if you give bad advice to those people, you're really harming them, in the job seeking. For example, I have a person who used the keywords and got blacklisted. Mm-hmm. I have a person who answered questions in a manner that it was disrespectful, and it was not what is supposed to be, meaning I don't want to go into detail, but you know, when a recruiter asks you a question or a hiring manager asking a question, you know, you need to be excited about being there. When they ask you why this company, it's all about the company. It's not what you think, or well, maybe, or well, perhaps. No, you're here because you want to be part of this company. You want to be part of the team. You want to help us be innovative. And so we want to ensure that you are excited and that you have your goals and that you have a vision and your mission matches ours. If not, there's not going to be a click. So the person is just going to go out the door the same way they came in.
Right. If you don't know that you want to work for that company in 5 years or whatever, why are you interviewing for that job? Unless it's a temp, you know, maybe it's a contract job, it's a 6-month job or something like that. Okay, that I could see that perhaps, but.
Well, the thing is, you know, and this is one of the reasons why having HR and recruitment background is crucial when you give job seeking advice, is because HR is responsible for company profitability. So recruitment costs money, sourcing,
Sure.
interviewing, sending emails, the face-to-face interview, a video interview, flying a person in for that interview, and then hiring the person, onboarding the person,
Right.
training the person, developing the person, and acceleration. All of that, okay, if it's not done correctly, it's loss of revenue. So at the end of the day, when HR goes to the table, you know, ROI is going down the drain because we're not doing our job correctly. So part of that, you know, the employee experience, the candidate experience starts from the very first contact, from that very first email that we get, hey, I'm interested in this position. So we have a responsibility to give right information from the start. So we have to ensure that we set the candidates, you know, not for failure, but for success from the very beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And rapport building so they feel like they're part of the team for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So AI. Okay, so there's a lot of negativity with AI right now in ATS, and it's normal for people to doubt and, you know, try to push what they don't understand. You know, ATS can actually provide a lot of good. So AI has the famous ATS that people don't like. Yes, ATS needs a lot of tweaking. Yes, some good resumes and good candidates are being spit out. But some of that is because the resumes are not correct and they don't have the right keywords. On top of that, competition is fierce. So they have to do the best job possible to stand out around everybody else, among everybody else.
Right.
So, you know, this is something that I tell everybody all the time. When you submit a resume, always submit your resume in a PDF file, never a Word document, always PDF. Absolutely. On that PDF, you add your cover letter at the end or at the beginning if you like, but it's part of your PDF, which means that as soon as they open that, if it scan and it pass the keywords, they're going to have that cover letter, and that's how you're going to make yourself stand among the rest of the people. You have to write a paragraph that is short, sweet, to the point. You're going to put exactly what they want to hear on that paper, and they go, oh my God, look what Ira just sent me. I have to meet Ira. You know, you have to sell yourself. So the ATS is showing a tremendous reduction in discrimination right now in biases, which is a win for diversity. So I think the argument that ATS is horrible, we really have to give it a chance because it's really showing a great win for diversity right now. Someone, for example, someone like me with my last name would have never made it if it wasn't for ATS. I have better chances now than I did before because of ATS. AI has the chatbots now. So we can actually implement and have chatbots which will engage with the candidate right away and keep them engaged until the actual recruiter can get, you know, to talk to them and so forth. We can now send via ATS, AI, we can send emails and we can send texting. There's research data that shows that people love their phones and will actually text and reply faster than an email. 99.9 will get answer right away as opposed to 30% an email. So AI is working really good to get recruitment engage with candidates. So there's a lot of good things about AI. We just really have to understand, what they're trying to do with this and give it a chance. And we have to leverage the good things about it.
Yeah, no doubt. I love what you have pointed out in your answer about it's helping to reduce the discrimination and the biases that, whether we do it on purpose or not, are a part of our frame of mind. And it's taking that out of the equation, and people are being judged based on the merits of their qualifications. I think that's phenomenal. So you don't hear a lot of good things about ATS in LinkedIn and some of the other platforms, and I think it's because people, for the most part, don't know what it is, and they hear some negative things, and then they spread the hearsay and the gossip. So I'm glad to hear some good things and some positive things coming out of it, and I'm excited for the improvements and the tweaks that you referenced to make it better.
Absolutely.
Okay, a lot of people may not know this, but you are married to an active military personnel for, I won't say how long because I want to be alive tomorrow. But if you would do us this favor, I know that this is Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people don't quite understand the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I think it's something extremely important. And if you could just briefly kind of give people a heads up, hey, this is what this is for, and this is what that is for, so they know, I think that would be a valuable service to us on this Memorial Day weekend.
So Veterans Day, you want to approach a person who's serving right now or who have served in the past and thank them for their service. I said, hey man, thank you so much for what you did. Memorial Day, no. Memorial Day is strictly for the ones that we lost when they made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. Right. And then that's the reason why we have our liberties today. So you don't tell an active duty person, hey, thank you for what, because they're alive. So if you want to say thank you and you want to show your appreciation, then find a military family that have lost a loved one, and that's how you show. Go to the cemetery, Arlington Cemetery, and you can, plant a little, flower, or bring balloons or something, or a flag, or whatever you want, or a little note, and say thank you for your service, and your family will always be remembered for their sacrifice, and we appreciate you. Yeah. But veterans are alive, and memorial has passed on.
November for those that are living, May for those who have passed.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. We've actually gone over because you and I like to talk to each other. But I want to thank you so much for coming back on. I will obviously ask you again to come back. The next session is going to be fun because I'm going to do split panel. We're going to have 3 people and each ask each other a question, which I think will be a lot of fun. Nice. But also, I'm going to point this video to your LinkedIn profile so that people can connect with you and ask you more questions about the AI or the ATS, or of course about the keywords for resumes. Maybe you can help them out.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope you have a great evening, and happy Memorial Day to you and your family.
Likewise.
Thanks. Bye-bye.